everybody, welcome back to the Shonen Junkies. My name is Ben, and as always, I'm with my co-host,
Edgar.
And for those of you who have just recently subscribed to us, yes, we're not just a reaction channel. We've just been doing a lot of reactions recently.
Yeah, please don't think that. We're not. Please don't expect like,
Right.
oh, react to this, react to that. You know,
We had to catch up.
Yeah,
we
needed.
We've been gone for a few months.
Yeah, we needed some
for a few
content to
weeks.
put out for you guys.
Yeah. But for those of you who do like the reactions, stay with us. Stay with us. We continue to do reactions, but our main point of interest is reviews and talking about storytelling and how are these stories so good. And today we're going to be talking about another great story, a movie that just released yesterday, Suzume No Tojimari, or Suzume's Door Locking.
Yeah.
Another Makoto Shinkai film. What else has Makoto Shinkai done, Edgar?
He's done Weathering with You, 5 centimeters per second, Your Name,
Yeah.
and like a bunch of others, like Garden with Words.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones I've all seen, but he has plenty of other works.
Your Name, Weathering with You, I think both are in the top 10 of highest grossing anime
Japan.
films of all time. Yeah.
Oh, of all
So-
time? Just in general? Not
No,
just,
no,
Not just Japan?
Japan.
Okay, I was
yeah,
gonna say
yeah.
Japan. I'm like, really?
I think maybe animation, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have to check that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we saw it. Real quick, we're just going to give you some non-spoiler reactions, what we thought,
Thoughts,
really
yeah.
base ideas, just for about 6 minutes. And then for those of you who have watched the movie, or if you're going to go watch the movie, turn this video off, come back, and then we'll talk about it more in depth. Edgar, why don't we start with your thoughts? As somebody who has seen Weathering with You and Your Name, I have only seen Your Name. Tell us what you thought about this film.
This movie is really good. The animation has not dipped in quality when it comes to the films. It's like absolutely stunning, and the music is Radwimps is back to collaborate with Koto Shinkai. Radwimps are the band that also did the soundtrack for Your Name and Weathering with You. I think they didn't do anything else other than that with his previous works, but the animation is absolutely gorgeous, so don't worry about that on that end. The story is really good and original, but it's also kind of hard to compare when you're talking about films like Your Name and Weathering with You. Those are films with very strong emotional beats and characters. He has a very, I think his strength is with romance. Everyone says, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but everyone says that Makoto Shinkai only makes one film, which is like in reference to like his draw and pull towards stories involving young romance and love and all that. And this is like the first film, at least in a while, because I haven't seen his other works other than the ones I've mentioned. This is one that doesn't really focus on love or romance or anything like that.
I mean, I think it is a big part of it is their relationship with one another.
Well, yeah, their relationship, but in no means is it like it's clear that it's a romance. At least
we'll
both
talk
ways.
about that later.
Yeah.
but at least both ways you are correct. We haven't gotten an
But
inkling of that.
But
yeah.
I do want to state that like this it feels very different. You can tell that it's going in a direction that you might not think, and it's really cool, and it's a really big adventure story that has a bit more stakes. I think it has the biggest stakes in terms of
people dying.
Yeah, because there's people's lives at stake.
Your Name has a pretty big thing about it, an
but
entire
it
town.
involves
of people,
one town, I guess. I mean, it is again serious, but it's one town. It stays around, and then Weathering with You has like some daydream presence, but like nothing like people will die like if something happens or something like that.
Yeah.
And this one is a bit more serious, so like there's a bit more of a thrill and excitement when it comes to like the main plot and the obstacles that they have to go through. Those are basically my first thoughts.
Sure.
What do you feel about going to this? This is your second Makoto Shinkai film?
This is my second Makoto Shinkai film. I watched Your Name earlier this year. I cried like a little baby, and
we all did.
Yeah, and my girlfriend Lauren, she loved it as well. So we're actually gonna go watch this film again. For those non-anime fans, go watch this film, man.
Yeah, it's just a good film. You don't need to be into anime at all to get into this.
We did not watch the dub, so for those of you who are interested in hearing our thoughts about the dub, we don't know. What I thought about the film was it felt very, in terms of Your Name, the storytelling beats were oftentimes much slower, and there was more build-up. I will say this movie starts. And it's been a while since I've seen a movie that just starts.
I gotta say that. I think the opening scene entirely, and then when the title dropped, I think that was like out of all his films, like that was the best opening.
The best
scene.
one. Yeah.
And it was like it gave me chills.
I don't know.
It was it was a really strong start.
I liked it too, but I do kind of like the slow build-up, and I think that's something that Makoto Shinkai does really well, is those slow. But I'm glad that he went, no, I'm going to do something different, because that's what I want all artists to do, is to do something that keeps them on their toes. And the ending it just kind of ends. So it's more of, we're here now, the movie is immediate, and we're just there for this entire ride. I really enjoyed the film. The animation, gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the characters are, I didn't meet a character that I severely disliked.
They're all likable.
So,
He always makes even the side characters very enjoyable and everything
Yeah.
they do. And he makes regular life stuff look really entertaining. Everything about it was amazing. The music, Ben, do you like the music?
Music,
Yeah.
be wonderful.
Again, this isn't my favorite.
Wonderful.
This is my favorite from Red Wings, but it's still gorgeous and it's amazing. And
we all know that the that song has pierced the hearts of every anime fan.
So catchy. It's so
it
immediately gets into your brain and it just stays there forever.
1,000,000,000%.
But I gotta say, in terms of like we mentioned it briefly before, but in terms of like cons and like stuff that we wish we saw, I just wish the emotional beats were a bit more apparent. There's clear like emotional weight and background with our main character Suzume and her story with her family, and with her aunt that we see on screen a lot. There was a moment where it felt real and it felt really cool, and there was almost a twist to it. But I just wish I felt like, not like I want to cry in every Makoto Shinkai film, as I've had in the past.
Yeah.
But I felt
that's your job, Makoto Shinkai. Make us cry.
You have to make us. You have to put us there. But I wish that I felt like a bit more with like. I feel if I was more tied with the characters, I really wanted them to do.
I think one of the issues with that is that there are a lot of characters in this film. I think more than any Makoto Shinkai film we've seen so far, at least that I've seen from.
It's usually 2, and then there's a bunch of side characters. Well, I don't know. I guess it's a bit about it the same, but it's more like we keep moving and moving.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like every region, there's like a new like NPC that they meet.
Yeah. We meet new characters as they travel along on their adventure.
Yeah. Which sucks, because I think the best character in the film shows up like halfway, not even maybe
like in
a
the
little
third
bit
act.
later, the
like
third act. Yeah. I think it's the best character. Final thoughts.
Yeah. This is a really, really good film. It's not the strongest Makoto Shinkai's catalog, but I still highly recommend for those to go watch it. It's a really great film. I'll be buying it when it comes out on Blu-ray, and I'll be probably watching it again in theaters because it's just that good. I just wish the emotional beats were there more, and I wish that the world and the fictional like supernatural entities and like background that is a bit more coherent to follow, because I feel like that was also a bit confusing.
There were a lot of things that were left unexplained, and I guess Your Name also kind of did that, but Your Name had like that mysticism with it that was good for the story. I think here it hindered it.
In that case, it's like more, it's not specific. It's just you just know there's something supernatural going on, and you know the rules to it. This one, there's a history, I don't want to say, but there's these people doing these things, and this is why we have to stop it. But it's also kind of confusing, and you're like, okay, but this is, and you know what I mean? It's something major, but in the end, it kind of leaves you like, I wish that was a bit more clear. Maybe I wouldn't be thinking about that so much, and I'd just be following the story along. That's just a minor nitpick. I really like this film. The soundtrack's amazing. The actors are amazing. The character designs, everything about it. So Makoto Shinkai does not miss. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I saw a whole bunch of reviews when it was releasing in Japan that this was mediocre at best. I've seen that a lot. Disagree. I think for many reviewers, they will go into this thinking, oh, how does it compare to Your Name and whether
you can't do that.
You can't do that. It's a completely different film. It deals with the mysticism way more than any of those two films. So I would say go into this with an open mind, and you'll leave pleasantly surprised. It's definitely going to be one of the best anime films of this year.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, you should definitely see it in theaters. Go see it in theaters.
support-
it is wonderful.
Support animation films and anime films. So let people know, people care about this stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
1,000,000,000%.
But that basically puts the end to the non-spoiler section. If, like we said, if you want to listen to our spoilers and talk about this film more in depth, go watch the movie. Or if you just don't care, you can just stick around to the end of this video for a spoiler section when we talk about it a bit more. Ben, spoiler section now.
Spoilers.
What's the spoiler? I hate cats.
Hey,
cats
shut up.
Suck.
I love the
cats.
cat. Olimar.
His
Olimar,
cat.
talk to him.
His cat's right here. He's just gonna.
Olimar, talk to them.
What do you
talk to them, Olimar. Can they see him? No,
they can't.
They can't see him.
His cat's right here.
Hello, Olimar.
This
hey,
cat's
you
so
can see him
confused.
right here, like his little head.
Yeah, but anyway,
like whatever.
Yeah, the main there's 2 cats in this film, but one of them mainly being Daito or Daiko.
Daijin. Yes.
Let's start from the very beginning. We see,
let's do.
Suzume is a high school girl, and
as they very often are.
Yeah, I think all of them. Well,
Yes,
at least someone's in high school. Someone is in high school at some point.
Yeah.
We see like a glimpse of her mother. Or at least she's looking for her mother in this wasteland, and then she finds them in this meadow.
In the what they call the Evermore, right? Or
the never
ever
after.
The ever after. Yeah.
But she meets this mysterious man going in the opposite direction, asking if there's any ruins here. He's looking for a door, and she's like, "What? I don't know about door."
And
but
she's also like, "Hey, that guy's hot."
No, yeah, right. She's like blushing kind of the entire time.
I'm just saying, like this felt like when you were talking about the like it's not really. It is a love story, right?
But
it's not
a
heavy. It's not a heavy.
But it's
not. They make a big emphasis on the kissing.
Yeah, but you don't see them kiss as a people.
Yes, of course,
it's a chair.
Of course, it's fine. But they meet at the end. It's very akin to like.
I don't know if you watch. I mean, you've seen Your Name, but if you see Weathering with You and you see those, like, oh, those are obviously romance, and then this one's like it's kind of in the background.
Sure.
I meant, I guess it's.
But they don't kiss in Your Name.
Yeah, but. It's so they say I love you, and it's like so. But I mean, I guess I know what you mean, but now
she says that she loves him.
No, she doesn't.
She does. She says the aunt says this is for somebody that you love, and she goes, I'm going to go save somebody whom I love. And, so yeah.
I don't know. I didn't get that vibe, oddly enough. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe you guys tell us what you think if you really think this is a romance.
I just don't think it was as heavy as say something like Weathering with You. So it just kind of was like,
Sota is looking for ruins that close doors to stop. They just call it a worm, right?
A worm. I didn't. Let's be honest. The worm wasn't very like intimidating to me.
It was cool.
It was cool.
I think
but
the thing
was kind of like.
I felt the stakes in this film. I think that the thing that felt really confusing is like, okay, we have people who take care of this, and I'm thinking like, okay, how many are there? Can you permanently shut them? Because I don't know if you can permanently shut them. And I'm like, there's these 2 things, but like. That like take care of it at the end and the tail, but like why did all these other ones appear? So I'm like, it doesn't explain everything, and I guess you technically don't need to, but at the same time, it leaves me wondering and has me worried about trying to piece these puzzles together. But by the end of the film, you're like, oh, I guess I didn't.
But I
didn't need to know any of that at all.
I think the good parts, or one of the good parts about Makoto Shinkai's storytelling, is that he doesn't tell you everything. He lets some things come to the imagination, like. He doesn't connect all the pieces, which I really, really enjoy, because I think one of the problems with modern day storytelling is that everybody feels the need to connect every piece of story.
Yeah, but in the case
leave something to the imagination. But for this one, I agree with you. It did hinder it.
Because
it did hinder it.
In the case of Your Name, almost like none of it's like in front of you explained, but everything's pretty plainly laid out, so you can oh, this is happening because of this, and it's really and you don't have to worry about anything else other than the story that's going on in front of you.
Right.
And in this case, I was kind of like, okay, let me try to figure this out. Oh, the movie's over. Oh, okay. I didn't have time to process that. But it's still, really cool. With this worm, essentially, is like basically once it falls, it causes earthquakes and calamities, and it will kill people. Earthquakes kill people. We all know that happens, and basically that's all it does. And it's pretty big, and it gets bigger and bigger.
Does it we haven't seen it? Does it like smush people? Do we know? No, if it had fallen on Tokyo, would it have smushed all those people?
No, because when it fell on the small town,
but it didn't fall in the small. It fell on the lake. like in the lake beside it, so it didn't fall on the small town.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So would they have smushed him?
No, I don't think so. I think once it fell, it like.
Would we have had
like,
a Tokyo pancake?
I don't know. Who knows? But I would.
How are Tokyo pancakes? Are pancakes in Tokyo good?
They look really fluffy. They look better than American pancakes.
Ooh.
I hate to do the stereotype. Everything in Japan better.
Everything in Japan better.
Earthquakes better in Japan, man.
Makoto Shinkai doesn't help because he makes even port towns in Japan, which I know are probably very dirty and very, unkept.
Everything looks pretty. Like
it all looks gorgeous.
Yeah, the McDonald's too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he makes the McDonald's look.
It makes the McDonald's look eatable.
Gourmet. You know what I mean?
No kidding. No kidding.
But yeah, basically, the other main character, the male lead, he's basically a part of a ancient group that goes back years apparently, called the Closers. What they do is just basically go around exclusively in Japan to close these doors, to stop these calamities from happening, to stop the worm from escaping. That's basically all they do.
And we kind of get a little bit of an inkling that he's kind of like, I just kind of want to be normal. I just want to be a teacher.
Yeah, this is not. I mean, this is their life role, but they don't get paid to do this. There's not organization. This is just tradition and job passed down. He's in college and he wants to be a teacher.
High school.
Basic high school teacher.
He's a high school.
No, he's
a
college student.
Oh, he's a college student?
Yeah.
I thought he said he was a high school student. I don't know.
No, she's in high school. He's in college.
Okay.
Because she's like, you're in college? I'm pretty sure. I gotta.
Okay.
If not, he definitely looks too old to be a high school student.
Yeah,
he looks like
yeah.
kind of like an adult. He's going around to these ruins 'cause that's exclusively where these doors are, and it doesn't have to be a door. It just has to be an entrance. Like it can be like we see like the Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
it's
we
just
see
like
a sliding door.
We see a sliding door. We see the gate to a Ferris wheel.
We see I guess the original doors were the tojis, the religious, not tojis, the religious entrances.
You mean the red gates or like
the red
those
gates.
are?
Torii, that's the name. Sorry, keep going.
Torii. Oh, the doors.
The gates are called tories.
Oh yeah. But Shota gets turned into a chair by a cat because the cat was supposed to be a what do you call it? A key?
He was supposed to be like a holder.
A holder. The cat is called a holder or something. Yeah, a holder. I thought it was a key or something.
It's not a key. He's like basically a pin. I don't remember the exact name, but he's the person that's like pinning it down. And we see that, the worm when Sota becomes the pin. He's like pinning the worm down to that one spot.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So that's why. So like his tail was like pinned down.
Yeah, so basically this cat entity was the original holder, and Suzume accidentally lets it free. The cat's like, haha, you're a chair now. And basically, for the majority of the film, Sota...
Haha, you're a chair now.
Yeah, the majority of the film is Sota as a chair, and he's trying to track down this cat as it seemingly is letting these doors open. But in reality, the cat was just trying to lead them to the doors to stop the calamity. Because it looks like the cat's the antagonist for the majority of this film, because it's like, haha, I can't turn him back. If this thing comes out, people will die.
The cat was a little bit like I was a little bit like, what do you think of this cat? And I kind of wanted him to go all in and be like, yeah, this cute cat with like a kid's voice is the bad guy. Yeah. I kind of wanted him to go all in, but then they made him or her all cute, and then this was the only part of the film that I was kind of like, what? Like, and the cat just gets the bad ending.
Yeah, because it just gets returned.
Yeah,
but I don't know why it wanted to be a pet anyway. Like, do you have a conscience? What were you before a cat?
Yeah.
Say it.
Where did the black cat come from? I'm a little bit confused.
Maybe it was the other. Was it the other placeholder?
Yeah,
was it
that's what they said. But I was like, it just kind of showed up randomly.
Yeah, with the old guy, like it was a guardian or something like that.
Yeah.
On the last, the second to last door, Suzume loses Shota, and Shota basically disappears along with the worm. Throughout the film, basically loses consciousness and feels like he's gonna get stuck as his chair. Yeah. Essentially as a placeholder.
He's always saying, like, every time he wakes up, he's like, huh, was I asleep? What? Like, he doesn't know where he went, which basically I think pretty much means that he was not alive during that moment, and then something with his connection to Suzume. woke him up again. But yeah.
Yeah.
But Edgar, before we get on into the second act of or I guess the third act, or
Yeah, we're jumping. Yeah, we're
jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
But they took a little road trip, Edgar. This was a very much an adventure journey type film.
A road trip film.
Yeah. So we started off in Kyushu, right? Which definitely
the harbor, the
looked like a port town.
Port town, yeah.
Because we see his aunt, like we know that the aunt and that dude, they obviously had like a little relationship going on.
Or more like he was just clearly into her and she kind of wasn't.
Well, but
because once the other guy showed up, I'm like, hey, maybe they might be together.
Yeah,
like,
but wasn't he like? I think he's like 23 and she's like 40.
Hey man,
I guess you're right. You're right. It's 2023. We don't judge, but we see that she starts in Kyushu, which you didn't know.
Her hometown.
Pulling out my maps. Is all the way south, and then they end up taking a boat to Ihime.
Yeah.
We don't know which specific town they were in, and I don't know, like this place, it was giving me the vibes of, the Princess and the Frog?
Yeah.
It was giving me like kind of, Princess and the Frog is in like Louisiana, right? Yeah. Like it was giving me that vibe.
I think you skipped the town. I think you're talking about the third one, because the second one.
Oh, you're right. The second one was with Orange's girl.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's with because she runs into.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, see, because they go like a lot of cities. But
which one was this one? Was this the one with the sliding door? Yes, this was the one with the sliding door.
Yeah, the school.
Yes.
Yeah, basically when they're chasing this cat, because this cat is like, is running really fast and taking the train all the way through Japan. And people are like, and the only way to follow it is like by looking online, because it's a trendy cat that people are taking pictures of.
That was funny. I was like, this is something that would exactly happen.
Like, the cat! Life. I gotta take a picture.
Yeah. What was also up with are Makoto Shinkai people in this universe just know this stuff? Like they see this cat running past, and then a three-legged chair running past, and they're like,
"Oh, look at that! It's a cool toy."
There was a very specific conversation that happened on that boat. Yeah, did you see that? Yeah, that was fascinating. And I was like, nobody talks like if I did that, I'd be like, "What? That's a chair," you know.
I think they just took it as a wow. This boat has like a lot of cool shows on it or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So stupid.
But they're following this cat and the chair. Shota as a chair is being carried by Suzume all the way through when he isn't walking. I said it looked really funny because like Shota, when he walks around like a chair, it looks like prop hunt. Like the chair.
That's what he told me. He was like, it's prop hunt.
Yeah,
because like somebody's masquerading as a cat. And,
yeah.
This is making me really realize like what was the motivation of the cat. Like I'm just trying to like.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It said that it led him there. It didn't say that, but it had you believe that the cat was just simply leading to the doors that were going to be open.
I get that she does say that, but couldn't the cat have just told him?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
But I guess I don't know. But that might be a little bit of a flaw of the film. But I mean,
I don't want these things explained to me. I just want them to be clear by the end of the film. Like, I wish I knew that.
Yeah.
So, but
and then we get to
the other town,
where
a nice middle-aged lady hitchhikes them on the way to her hometown, where she's going to visit her grandmother, and she has 2 kids with them. Another really funny segment of the film where the kids are like really mysteriously like looking at the chair. What's up with this chair,
like,
man?
What's up with this chair?
And then like they're putting food on it, and it's like.
See, I like this. I like the gags with the chair. I feel like there could have been a little bit more of the. I wanted Soma to be or Sota.
Shota. Is it Sota or Shota?
It's Sota.
I've been saying it with this entire time.
No, it's Sota. I wanted Sota to be a little bit more like, hey, stop standing on me. You know, like, what are you doing?
Can we talk about how he got sat on and then like?
Yeah, she sat on him. Yeah, and he was like, and it was like, hey, yo.
But like, where's the face?
Like,
is it on the seat?
Is it on the seat? Or is she sitting on his lap? Because both of them are bad. You know, but about to make his third leg rise.
Yeah, there's his third leg is missing, bro.
His fourth leg
is missing. But anyway, there's like funny gags in him. Like also when she stands on him, and then she's like, "Hey, can I stand on you?" He's like, "You already are."
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey," but as we were talking about, like I loved when the kids were like dropping the drinks on him, and he like balances the drink, and they're like, "Hey, yo, that should have spilled."
Yeah,
and they're like, "I'm supposed to be causing havoc, and you're making it stop," you know.
Yeah. And then there's like a nice moment moment where he like tires them out by playing with them.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm just a toy. Like, I'm just an Alexa." Or
and
something.
he has and they were asking him like questions that you would ask.
It's
You
like,
know, on
"Oh,
Google.
this chair is like AI," and they're like, "Oh, what's the weather then?" But
she was like, "He's not that smart." And he was like, "Hey." That part was funny. That was a very funny part.
I guess
you know?
I guess this film just has like a really long first act because I thought the second act was already like when I guess the
second
first
act was so short.
Yeah, because you're right. Because I guess if you want to, the first act ends once Sota.
I wouldn't have mind if it was a little bit longer. You know, I feel like that they were like, okay, anime film, it's got to be like an hour and 45 minutes. Like make it 2 hours 10 minutes. It wasn't add 30 minutes of story.
The film wasn't long. It just felt like I don't know. Like the first act was long, but like once we got to the first act, I'm like, okay, where are we?
No, I enjoyed every moment of it. That's why I want more. As I was a little bit like, make it a little bit longer. Why not? You know?
I guess just by the second act, I feel like once you're along with the third act, you should have an idea of what's gonna happen, and you just kind of don't. And unless you're being like entertained constantly in the second act, you're like kind of left there just kind of hanging in the air.
I guess the second act is really when they get to Tokyo. Right.
I guess if anything, what I asked for in the non-spoiler section, I guess you should have put more story beats in the second act when they're driving along. It's really nice. Again, more funny moments with the guy. The guy, what's his name? The Serizawa.
Oh, Serizawa.
Yeah.
Serizawa actually is voice acted by the main character from Your Name.
Really?
So the main guy,
The guy who plays Yuta? No, that's the girl's name.
No. That's the guy from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Taki. It's Taki. I know for a fact. It's Taki. It's Taki.
It is Taki. Good job.
Yeah, I'm smart.
Good. Well done.
By the way, if for anyone who really loves Makoto Shinkai or Your Name, because I love that film. It's like my top 5 films of all time. I listen to the soundtrack 24/7, like so many times. When they're showing the video of a cat, you can hear a track from Your Name in that video. It's so small. It's like in the background, like only if you're like
you're crazy.
I know.
How are you catching up on this?
Because I go listen to that song all the time. I'm like, I know that soundtrack.
Jeez.
But anyway, I feel like the second act could have used like a little bit something extra, so it doesn't feel like.
I guess the whole first act was to get us really connected with about Suzume and Sota. Was really to connect them so that when he gets saved in that final act, if it means something. But like you were saying, after the big event that happened and after she goes sees his grandfather, you know, which. Grandfather, I feel like flip-flopped a little bit.
I also felt like that could have been a perfect time. Okay, if you're not gonna lay out the puzzles clearly for us, I feel like I would be okay with just like exposition.
The grandfather would have been a perfect exposition fodder. Yeah. But I guess Makoto Shinkai just does not like exposition fodder. Which
is a good thing. And just in this case, I just wish he did. Like,
I mean, we did get a little bit of exposition fodder when they found the book, you know, and they talked about. But I mean, you have to have it. Like you have to have it. Otherwise, I would not have known anything that happened.
Yeah, it would have been way too confusing.
But finally, we get to the third act, and that's after like basically the third act is saving Sota.
Yeah.
And we meet who I think, and maybe I have a personal bias because I auditioned for this character, Serizawa. And
we kind of technically meet him in the beginning of the second act because before.
Right, he does show up there. Yeah,
he shows up in the Serizawa shows up at Sota's apartment when they're looking at the Sota's apartment. Yeah. Jesus Christ, these Japanese names are throwing me off. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey guys, once again, and we do this all the time. Once we've just watched something, we don't know like their names like right off the bat because first of all, these names are pretty foreign to us, so it takes us a while to get all of it. Like I know every character's name in My Hero because I've been watching it for a long time.
And even like Japanese like names like in Jujutsu Kaisen, you just hear them repeatedly. So
you know all their names.
In your mind.
Yeah.
But basically, we meet Serizawa in the second act at his apartment. Basically, I'm also studying to be a teacher. I guess they're classmates.
And then he missed the teacher like test.
He missed the teacher test.
To get a teacher.
Yeah.
I knew that. Like 4 or 5 months ago, like before the film even came
can we
out.
say it? Because Ben auditioned for this film. He auditioned for a role that he didn't get. I think he should have been in it. But
no, stop. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed Serizawa as a character.
Yeah, it was
And
really
it's-
funny.
Like there was that first scene, I was like, I know every word to this scene because I spent a long time preparing for that
Yeah,
audition.
when you told me that in theaters, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my, really? And I was like,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like watching, like, hey, that's you, but not
No,
really.
no,
and not
definitely
even,
not.
Not even close to not really,
Yeah.
because it was just the sub.
Yeah, exactly. Not
So,
even
like-
close to not really. Yeah. It's I love this. I love that we can look back on my failure, like a failure that I had
Hey,
as
look,
an actor.
Chainsaw Man, you could have
and
been
then
any
laugh.
one of these, but you weren't.
Exactly that. I love that we can do that. But I really enjoyed his character. I thought her aunt was the Orange's girl. Like at first.
No.
Like when the aunt shows up and is like, "Hey, don't talk to him." She for me looked very young. I don't know why.
She's
So I
just-
just
she's
thought,
a young aunt.
you know.
She's a really young aunt. Pretty
Hey,
hot. Looking.
yeah.
I mean, that's why I thought the guy and
Yeah,
her were gonna
yeah.
get together, like, because they're.
Yeah. I could see it, but don't worry.
Serizawa, the side character, he was really funny.
He's the best part of the film for me. Like I really enjoyed him.
Yeah, I guess in terms of like put more emotional beats in the second act, he could have also been a mediator between, I don't know, or maybe either a mediator or an instigator between the drama that happened, because we get it briefly in a scene between the
Yeah.
aunt and Suzume. That moment was like, well, it took a twist turn. It wasn't what you thought it was,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
was getting really serious. But then again, it was honest feelings that she was saying. It's when Suzume
Yeah.
and her aunt were arguing and yelling about what's going on. Why did you start leaving? And then the aunt starts going off on a rant. Says like, look, I didn't choose to be this, and like
And
you took away my
I
good
think
years.
it was supposed to be like she was kind of like possessed
Yeah.
by that black cat in
Yeah.
the back. I think that's what it was supposed to be like.
No, that's definitely what
you
it
know.
is. But it came
And
from
I hope
a place,
it is like that. Once you say stuff like that stuff hurts, and
Yeah.
you can't really take that stuff back.
When she said it,
you
I was
know?
like, oh my god.
I was like, "Are you
Yeah,
the
she was like-
villain
She was
of the
like,
story?"
she was like, leave my home, and like,
Yeah.
But
But,
it
I
was-
mean, Suzume did say one hurtful thing, which was you're suffocating me and stuff, and like
Yeah.
which is not as bad as what she said, which was you ruined my
Hey,
life, basically.
Hey, no, but I would be hurt. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's coming from a very different
Right.
place. But like, if I had to take care of a child, arguably I had good moments with the child,
Yeah.
and I do whatever I can to support them, and they say you're suffocating me,
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Oh,
oh man, like, listen, you.
boy.
I didn't ask for this. Like, I'm doing my
Yeah.
best here. Like,
I do also want to say, so Serizawa, he was like singing in the car.
Yeah.
I
The car
had
didn't work?
To, yeah. The car didn't work, but I do want to say I had to go in. I had to sing for this audition. I had to sing along with something, like I was singing
what did
in the
you sing
car.
with, by the way?
I sung I can't stop this feeling.
Oh
I
my
sung
God.
that. Yeah, but I sung like
Maybe if you
the-
chose
the
a
part
different
was-
song, they
maybe,
would've picked you.
Maybe, yeah. No, I think after watching, I wish I could have watched the film before. I think I read it all wrong. But hey, live and learn, man. But I didn't like the way it sounded in my recording studio, my closet.
His closet.
I didn't
His
like the
hole in
way
the
it
wall.
sounded. So I got my blanket and I went to my car in the like 2 a.m. in the morning because it was like due at like 7 a.m. that day. I go to my car, I put my blanket over my head, I turn on the music in the car and I sing it and I listen to it and I was like, yep, that's gonna work.
I can imagine your neighbors like, what the heck's
What
going
the
on
heck
in
is
here?
that? Yeah, what's going on? So yeah, I did that, and like I said, it was not my best work, and but I mean, I'll always, every time I don't get a role, you always just gotta go like, it's okay, like
Yeah, take it on the chin,
yeah,
you know.
take it on the chin and move forward. But yeah, so Serizawa's broken car was also very funny.
Yeah.
How his roof didn't work, and he was like,
Oh,
okay, let's try it.
And then it doesn't work, and he's like, yeah, it
Yeah, that
doesn't work.
doesn't work. And as somebody who had a green Oldsmobile whose windows never rolled down, and the driver, remember my driver's car, my door wouldn't open, so I would
Dude,
always have to climb over.
Nothing worked,
and nothing worked in my
I'm
car.
surprised it ran. Like,
Yeah, me too.
but it was even funnier when they crashed, and
Yeah.
then the thing finally.
Yeah,
worked.
and then
But
oh
the
my
car-
god, I was dying. That was the funniest part of the whole film.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it worked.
But then the door just like falls on the ground.
Oh yeah, the door falls on the ground. It was so funny. And then at the end of the film, we see it all taped up. And I told Edgar, I was like, "That's me. He's just like me for real."
Yeah, that's me for real.
He's just like me for real.
That entire. I mean, it's not. There's nothing boring in the second act. It's not boring.
No.
It just felt like I just wish there was more like tie into the. I guess it was all for the climax. I wish we had something in the second act that was missing for the climax to be more payoff, to pay off more. And because the third act is pretty short when Suzume goes to the Ever After to save Soto and stop the worm in its entirety.
We get like a mystical cat versus worm
Also,
battle.
big worm. Yeah, I was also explaining. I'm like, okay, it can turn big. What is this cat? Like, I was also confused on that end.
I just think they needed something to hold back the.
No, I know. But also when we went in there, I'm like, okay, I just didn't know.
Yeah,
I was so
didn't know
confused.
what.
Man. I was like,
I didn't know what they were trying to do other than save Sota.
I honestly thought they stopped it in Tokyo, so I'm like, we're just going to save him now. Oh, but we're also stopping the worm. I thought the worm was taken care of. So I was super confused on that end.
There might be somebody in the comments who is trying to explain it, but I mean, sometimes you have to watch a movie twice to really get like the whole themes.
But your name was so like jumped back and forth, and I knew exactly what was going on.
It's just like we would prefer to leave the movie theater and be like, okay, this is a definitive what the characters wanted to do at that moment, or at least I think they should have explained how to stop the worm indefinitely. Right, that's what
or
I think
if that
was
even a
missing.
thing,
if that was even possible.
Yeah,
right.
Because I didn't think it was possible, and I was like, okay, but it's a gun now, like forever.
Yeah,
because I felt like I don't know.
I guess I guess Sota kind of explained at the end. He was like, "Nah, I got more doors to close. Like it's not even done." So
yeah, so what are you fighting? Is it just this worm, or will the worm revive or something? I'm like, let's explain the worm, please.
I was like, oh man.
But also in Tokyo, like just a rewind. It turns out that the cat wasn't inherently evil or anything. It just wanted to be loved or be Suzume's pet.
And then at the end, the cat was like, "I never got to be your kitty." And then they turn him into a weapon. And I'm like,
it
turns
into the stone.
No, kitty. Which at the beginning I was kind of like she was like, "I don't like you," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't like this cat either. So screw this cat." Towards the end, I like this cat, and I thought they would live happily ever after, and he would get to be the kitty. But no, I thought that's why I wanted to stay after the credits. Maybe the kitty will like show up at her doorstep or something like that.
Kitty will return in Suzume
kitty
too.
wins in Weathering with Suzume.
Yeah, right. The climax ends with Suzume entering the Ever After, freeing Sota with she basically kisses him, right? Not this time, right?
Not this time. She doesn't kiss him this time. She pulls him out.
She pulls him out, and the cat helps along too.
Yeah.
And then he gets out of the chair state, and essentially the cat returns back to its stone state. Along with the black cat comes along and turns into a stone, and then both Sota and Suzume stab the worm, basically killing it, I guess, indefinitely or something.
Yeah.
And the big part of this film was I guess there was a weird place and time where it's all meshed together.
I even think they say that it's good build-up. I think at the beginning, Sota says that realm, that it exists outside of time or something like that.
Because we see the younger version of Suzume when she was looking for her mother in the Ever After.
I do want to say it's very interesting because Edgar is so good at pointing out storytelling elements, and Edgar is such a good writer himself that he's able to catch on to things much quicker than I am.
Yeah.
And so Edgar was watching Suzume walk up to this child, and he goes, and I go, why did he gasp? And I went, and the reason why I got it early was because he gasped.
It's because I think I got it once he put the coat on her. I'm like, wait a minute, the coat. And then it's when he puts the coat on her, I'm like, okay. And then she grabs the chair. I'm like, oh, now I know where this is going.
Very good, all-around thing I enjoyed. Because at the beginning, we assumed that maybe she's connecting with her dead mother in the, Ever After, because that's where all souls go to rest, you know. And I really liked this kind of underlying theme of her locking or closing the door on her her mother and her past and focusing on the now of her
Yeah.
friends and her, aunt. And
I
stuff
I
like
got that in the beginning and I got that in the end, but the reason why I didn't feel like that was the theme of the. I mean, when you say it, yeah, that's probably
A
that,
theme, not the theme.
you know,
I don't
the
think,
reason why I
yeah.
didn't feel like the theme, if there was
Yeah.
a the theme, is because it wasn't really carried over continuously through the story.
And I think it should have been the theme.
Yeah.
Because I think that is a very powerful.
Because
you
the
know,
whole story involves closing and locking doors, and I guess you could have done something with like moving
Yeah.
on. It's okay. Time passes. You know, you can close doors on things like this.
Or maybe since she met so many new friends and so many new people, she's opening
The
the
true
and closing
door-
the doors on those people.
Maybe the true door is the friends we made along the way. Yeah.
There you go.
Something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, a really good part, and then we get these after credit scenes where everybody is, kind of going home and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
They make the journey back, and then the
Yeah.
aunt meets the friends. I think
Meets all
that
the
Suzume
friends,
meets
yeah.
along the way, which is really nice.
And then Suzume is going to school again.
Yeah.
And she runs into him, and I'm like, dude, I don't have time to talk to you right now. I gotta go to school. I've missed like 4 days.
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
I'm probably immensely
I missed
behind.
3 finals. I gotta
Yeah,
redo them
exactly.
again. I would
Exactly.
assume that it's been months or something then.
Yeah.
She's wearing a new color. I assume she like went up a grade.
Yeah.
That's basically how the film ends. There's like nothing. I mean, Ben said that he wished there was like an epilogue. There was like a bit more closure with these characters that we like a lot, especially with Serizawa.
Yeah, it ended like most of the closure things happens like in
In
the
brief
credits,
inner credits scene,
like
yeah.
like Serizawa and Sota are supposed to be best friends, but we don't even see them talk to each other. The only interaction we
Yeah.
get is Sota going Serizawa, and that's it. That's it. That's all we see them do. Like we couldn't have seen Serizawa be like, "F you, bro. Where's my money?" I'm gonna have to cut that out because I used the F word. Awesome. But yeah, and Serizawa's whole thing is that he's like, yeah, he owes me money,
But
and we
inside-
obviously know he cares for him, right?
But in the end,
yeah.
he says, "I owe him money."
Yeah. Oh, is that what he says?
Yeah, did you catch that? Did you catch that?
That's what I'm saying. He's the best part of the film. Makoto Shinkai, make a sequel with Serizawa.
Yeah, just him.
Please, it's so good.
Make him and the ant hook up, please.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
no, but-
Exactly.
Yeah, but I
Oh
wish
my
we
God.
got these closures and just explanations. There's just gaps, nothing catastrophic. It doesn't ruin anything in
Yeah.
the film. You can
And we like gaps as storytellers. We
Yeah.
like to fill in those gaps. Like when in Solo, when they tell us how he got his last name, like we as storytellers are like, why? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you leave that up to the imagination?
But in that case,
you
no
know?
one. I didn't even think Solo was a weird enough
Yeah.
name. So it's like it's all the things about Han Solo we didn't really ask
Yeah,
for why
exactly.
the thing. Why does he have
Exactly.
the die? I don't know. No one cares.
No one cares,
Some
yeah.
production designer thought it was cool if it was in
Yeah,
the Millennium
exactly.
Falcon. But anyway,
Exactly.
yeah. I wish things were a bit more clear in the end. But
Yeah.
this isn't to say that we didn't feel anything, because we felt a lot of things. in
Oh,
this
yeah.
film. It was really great. By the end of it, I was like, wow, that was another perfect film in a sense for
Another
Makoto.
Makoto Shinkai masterpiece.
Yeah, it's great. I would really
Mm-hmm.
suggest watching this in theaters while you can. I mean, bring your friends along, even if they're not into anime.
Yeah.
I think I give this film like an 8.5 out of 10 or 9 out of 10.
I'll give it a 9. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Fantastic film. Fantastic
Yeah.
film. Well, you guys, let us know what you think about Makoto Shinkai's new film, Suzume No Tojimari. Make sure you support the official release. Always go and support these anime films in the movies so that we get more. We enjoy these anime films and we want more original stories. There are probably so many Makoto Shinkais out there that have yet to be discovered. So we want you to go in and support all of that stuff. If you like manga and anime and want to stay up to date with the latest news, projects coming out of Japan, the Shonen Junkies are here with reviews, with reactions, with fun little games, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's it. My name's
That's
Edgar.
it. My name's Ben.
This is the Shonen Junkies review. The video's over.
The video's over.
Bye.
Bye.